sir. Am I audible?
You're audible? Yeah.
The word document carries with it the meaning of something, furnishing information or evidence. In documentary films, the concept of truth is closely associated with the problem of objectivity. In a medium in which selection or manipulation is done, strict objectivity is not possible.
Okay.
Legitimacy or a feeling of authenticity can be achieved. For example, the road of waves in a sea or the moment created by a busy street can be made legitimate by its photographic reproduction. Anything that can happen can be photographed. However, in a medium where you use editing, sound designing to show parts of the footage you want to present, I think there is a problem. There lies a problem with truth. It's an ethical concern, not an aesthetic concern.
Okay. Okay.
The interpretation of truth in documentary films can be depending upon the filmmaker's interpretation of reality in general, and also the subject matter in which it will affect the presentation or the reconstruction of the subject matter. For example, the Robert J. Flaherty is usually considered a pioneer of documentary film. According to Winston, he had an exploitative relationship with the Inuit as he put his films above anything else. He admitted putting his documentary subjects in physical danger to take an enormous risks. In Man of Erin, there is a sequence in which the islanders go fishing in dangerous seas, which they would have not done in reality. And in a previous class, Naresh sir had told about an Indian documentary also, which I forgot to mention, where he had told the people to act in a certain way so that the documentary becomes interesting. I forgot the name. I had wrote in the paper.
Okay.
If not, Flaherty had bought their consent. Though documentary films seem to be in an ambiguous position somewhere between news and fiction film, it is still often regarded as something revealing things about reality. Often the filmmaker's intention is indeed to tell something about reality, and the viewer also may expect to see something real. However, the result is often closer to fiction. Also, the production of a film as well as the final product affect reality, sometimes directly and sometimes indirectly. This is my second point, or my director, the question. In today's world, where some form of camera is accessible to almost all, there is much more democratization of cinema in terms of its access. Everything that the camera captures can be called a document, whether it be a cooking video shot by amateur hands or capturing the video of a natural occurrence, like capturing rain and storm from a balcony. However, according to me, a document can qualify or elevate into becoming a cinema only when the filmmaker's interpretation of a story goes into it. The drive to tell stories should drive cinema. And by story, I do not necessarily mean the formulated plot devices that are used to tell a story. A line of ants coming out of a hole, a cup of coffee can also become a story. Thus, I find the last line of the quotation very relevant, that the borderline between story film and documentary is broken again and again by all the great artists in all the periods of history of cinema.
Okay, this is good, I think, and you have brought in a very important observation, which is basically by Andre Baza. The concern is not aesthetics; the concern is ethical.
Yes. It's fine.
No, that is what Andre Baza says. Realist mode of filmmaking is like, it's much more democratic in the sense that the audience can decide to choose what it wants to see and what it does not want to see. Okay, yes. So it's a question of ethics and not aesthetics, basically.
Yes.
And just go up a little, Naresh. Yeah. Just Naresh, go up a little. Yeah. And yeah, I think you have understood and been able to understand and formulate your take on the question properly.
Yes, I partially disagree with Ghatak and partially agree with Ghatak.
That is that comes out, which is good. It does not. You need not always support the statement. You can always argue against the statement, because director अपना जितना भी बोले ना, क्योंकि camera is a dispassionate recorder of reality. The fact that you are lensing in a certain manner.
Yes, the interpretation always comes.
वो interpretation आ ही जाता है. You cannot say कि unlike the painter, there's a complete absence of the cameraman or the director between the camera and the reality. Okay, which is very, very problematic. Plus, there's something called the editing also. Editing में भी manipulation होता है. और आज के तारीख में तो color correction, कितने सारे sound designing, and the way you edit can change the meaning of the reality that you've shot.
Many propaganda documentaries are also being shown in WhatsApp nowadays.
Of
actually
course.
fake.
Of course, of course.
Because everyone has a camera nowadays.
Okay, this is fair enough. I think this is good.